Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make Ariana Grande, and we're doing her with her little Minnie Mouse ears and her thigh-high white boots. We're going to be using a single loom, and we're going to start by doing her ears and her hair first. Single loom is going to be in an offset configuration, which means that columns 1 and 3 will be slightly lower than column 2. You're going to have it with the arrow facing towards you. If you don't have an arrow, it's the open part of the peg facing towards you. Her body we're going to double band, but to do her ears, which is what we're going to start with, we're using a single band, stretch it into a figure 8 and loop it on itself. So it will look like you've got 2 bands on there, but it's actually just a single band, figure 8, looped on itself and placed across these pegs. And we're going to start, as I said, by doing her ears. Now I've had a request to do this, and I have to admit I have absolutely no idea who she is, but she looks like an absolute darling. Oopsie. I'm sure as my little girl gets older, she'll fill me in on who all these people are. We're going to take a single band and wrap it around your hook once and twice, and that's going to be our end cap, and it will sit here. Now we're going to dig down past that end cap and find these 2 top bands, and I say 2 because there are 2 there. Even though it's a single band that's looped on itself, you've still got 2 parts, 2 bits to catch. Okay, so we're going to loop those to their corresponding sides like this. Always push the crossover bands back with the back of your hook so that you can expose these bands, the 2 bands that you need to loop up. We're going to take a single band, figure 8, loop it on itself, and this is what we're going to tie off with. Now I'm going to tie off using a different hook because I'm going to use that as a holding hook. So I'm going to place my band through here and drag it up and to the back side of this peg. And I'm not going to tie it off, I'm just going to leave it on my hook like that and gently ease this off the loom and stretch it into shape. And there is my first little ear. We're going to do another one. So if you remember, we're doing single bands. That you loop on themselves. Take another single band, we're going to use it as our end cap, place your hook through once and twice and it will pop just here. This is our top set of bands, so dig past the end cap and grab those 2 bands, hold the end cap in place and loop to the corresponding peg like so, pushing back with those crossover bands. Make sure that you've got both loops. Take another single band, loop it on itself, and again we're going to use our holding hook, push it down through the end of that peg, drag it back up to the back side of the peg. You want to be on the back side of this peg, Again, we're not tying off. We're going to just gently ease this off our loom and stretch it into shape. So there's our 2 Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse ears. Next, we're going to do her braid. Okay, I'm using Rainbow Loom Burgundy to do her hair, and I'm going to be double banding. And we're not going to do anything particularly fancy, but we're going to be going down 10 pair, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you don't have to do 10, you can do 9 or however long you want. It's completely up to you, really. Now what I actually might do is take this one and put it here, and take this one and put it here, so that it's shaped like this. I'm going to take a single band and I'm stretching these over in little triangles to keep these all together. If you didn't do that, you'd just have these 3 columns that weren't linked in any way, and it would look a bit odd. Put an end cap down here on the bottom, which is a single band wrapped around your hook twice, and pop that on there. Now begin to loop up, dig down past the end cap and find your 2 top bands and loop them to the corresponding side. Oopsie. There we go. Push these crossover bands back with the back of your hook. And you're going to make sure you've got teardrop shapes all the way up the loom so that you know that you haven't missed looping any of these in. Once we get to the top here, we're going to take 2 burgundy bands. Now I'm going to put 2 on here, wrap once and twice, and I'm going to slide onto 2. Alright, just like we do with shoes, and do that. Now with these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off my loop, off my hook, sorry. I'm going to take these off using 2 bands, push my hook through, dig it down under, grab the 2 bands and pull it through and out to the back side. I'm not going to tie this off. I'm going to ease this off the loom like that. That's her hair. Now I'm going to treat this as if I had just done a shoe, and I'm going to poke this side of my bands here and lift this loop up and over like that. Then I'm going to swap sides. I'm going to take those 2 loops off my hook and replace it with these 2 from the other side and loop these over like that. This then gives me the ability to have done her hair like it's a ponytail. Alright, and that will just sit on her head, but I can angle it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that on a holding hook as well, right there. Okay, so we've done the 2 bits that are our extensions. Now let's do her body. Our loom is offset configuration, that's absolutely fine. We're going to start with doing a bit of burgundy for her hair, double banding. And we're going to do it a bit different because in this particular outfit she has got her hair scraped back into the ponytail and she doesn't have bangs, so I'm not going to be putting any brown ones from here to here. Instead I'm going to be using skin tone, which means that I will want these 2 side ones to go on top of the skin tone. Single band across here. We're going to do a single band and twist it once, twice and 3 times, and that stops the eyes from sinking to the back of the head. Now let's take 2 beads. I'm using mini pony beads and I'm going to thread them onto a band. Now if you don't have mini pony beads, you can use black bands or whatever bands you want to use. Place them on. You're gonna wrap it around on your hook 3 times, and you'll place them. You'll do it to 2. You'll place them on the skin tone band as if they were beads, and you just lift this part up over the top of this band, and that then acts like a crossover band. Okay. Now at this point, we can put our ponytail. So stretch that out. Oh, that wasn't very good, Kate. Let's do that again. I'm trying not to move my loom so you can see what I'm doing, but at the same time I'm making it difficult on myself. Silly me. Alright, we've got our ears. Our ears are here. I'm going to put one ear here. I'm going to put the other ear right here. Now, the other thing to say is if you don't want it to be on black bands, use the same as the hair colour, and that's okay as well. So, we're going to use 3 bands for her neck. The reason I like to use 3 is because otherwise they end up looking like one of those bobbly dolls with a head that wobbles all over the place. 2 bands are after that. We go back to our double banding. And now we're going to use black for her little bodysuit outfit thingamajiggy that she's wearing. I'm trying these rainbow braid bands, and I have to say I quite like the ones that are not, I don't like their metallic particularly, but the ones that aren't metallic are really nice. I'm also going to put a pair from the center here up to here, and then the other side as well, from the center up to here. Now because I've done that, I'm going to put an end cap in the middle here, single band, wrap once and twice, and I'm just going to place that here on the end because I don't want it to splay out and look like I've left this great big hole in her chest. So 1, 2, 3, I'm going to go down 4 for the body, and then we need to do her pants, and I'm just going to go down this far for the pants so that I can use white bands for her boots here. Let's do the crotch area. I'm going to take 2 bands this side, 2 bands this side, and a single band as the end cap for here, poke my hook through, wrap once and twice, and place on the end here. Now, to give her some definition here with our crossover bands, I'm going to take a single band and stretch it across those 3 pegs, but then for these 2, I'm going to take a single band and loop it so it's tighter. Loop it, and here I'm just going to do a single band like that. For her arms, take a single band, wrap it once and twice, and we're going to slide onto a pair of skin tone like that. We're going to do that 4 more times. So there's 1, and reclaim the end, 2, reclaim the end, 3, reclaim the end, and 4. And that will sit here on her shoulder. Let's do the same for the other side. A single band wrapped once and twice, and we need 5 pair. So here's our first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to sit here on the other shoulder, right like that. Now we need some white bands for her boots. A pair here, and a pair here, and a pair here, and a pair here. Now to do the soles of her shoes, take 2 white bands, wrap once and twice, and slide on to 2 white bands and reclaim. 2 white bands, wrap once and twice, slide on to 2 white bands. Now this is the bit that people find a bit tricky. You've got 2 sides. You've got this side here and this side that's on the hook. You're going to take, from your first set, you're going to take the 2 loops closest to the end, up and over like that. Okay, we're then going to take these 2 loops off our hook and swap it with the other side like that. So you've still got this one on here, see, and we're going to move this one on here like that. So all of them are on these 2 bands, and then you can reclaim the end of your band. Whoops, come here you. like that. Angle it the way you want, and it just gets popped on the end of her leg here. We'll do the same for the other side. So 2 bands, wrap once and twice, slide on, 2 bands, stretch them out of it, reclaim that one, 2 bands, wrap once and twice, and we will slide on 2 bands. Now again, this is the first end, this is the second end, so we're going to hold the second end, slide these 2 onto the first end like that, swap the first end with the second end, take that off your hook and replace it with that one, slip that over and reclaim the end of your bands and pop onto the end of the leg. I believe we're ready to start looping up. Dig down and find the 2 bottom white bands, and we loop up. Now when I get to here, I like to do this bit next, because then we have the continuity of the pants going upwards. So dig down and find those 2 top bands and loop to the side, and do the same for the other side and the middle. And now we can just loop up. Loop up to the shoulder. Now when we're here, we're going to dig down past the end cap and grab the 2 top bands and loop up to the shoulder, and the same for the other side. Loop up to the shoulder, dig down past that end cap and grab those 2 skin tone and loop up and loop up. Then dig down into the arms to find those bottom skin tone, loop those across, and again we have 3 bands to find for her neck. Wiggle, 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 up we go. Now find the top 2, move them to one side, the next 2, and the final bottom ones. As I said, we're going to do the forehead first, then the brown bands for the hair, up to the ears, and then dig down and find the 2 hair coloured bands and loop them up like that. We're going to take 2 burgundy bands, dig your hook through past all of the bands and out the side, put the 2 burgundy bands on and drag it back to the back side of this peg, okay, like that. I'm going to stretch this open and put the ponytail through it like that, so that my bands, if you can see, are at the back of the ponytail, and I'm going to reclaim those loops like that. I'm going to take the one closest to me, up, over and off, and pull tight. She's ready to come off the loom. I use a hook to help me, especially when there's lots of bands on the same pegs. I feel that it reduces some of the pressure on the bands. chance that it's going to break. I use the back side of it because I don't want the hook getting caught. I'm going to stretch her into shape, angle her feet. You can see that there's a little bit of definition there at the waist. Pull her arms out so that they sit down and don't sort of look like she's directing air traffic control. Now this is her ponytail. Make sure her ears are correct. Now with the 2 loops that you have here at the back, what I usually do is just actually splay them out and put them around the ponytail a couple of times, just like that, to act sort of like it's hair around. And there we have our little figure of Ariana Grande. I hope you enjoy making her. Take care.